Right then, welcome back to the channel. This is like XG, extra, read all about it. Me and Ronaldo are going to look at the goalkeeper situation. So as you can see on the screen, Lammens United is imminent. Yesterday there was reports from Fabrizio Romano suggesting that personal terms were basically done and that there was ongoing talks between the clubs. What does that mean? Well, the way United have worked in this window, that probably means that within the next few days, Senne Lammens getting here we go to Manchester United. Now, as it stands, we still have Onana and there are no rumours linking him elsewhere. We still have Bayindir and there are no rumours linking him elsewhere. Tom Heaton only signed a new deal a couple of weeks ago. He's going nowhere, I'm almost certain of that. And we are linked still with Donnarumma. So, my question to you guys and to Ronaldo is, who's going to be Manchester United's number one this season then?
I think it will be, if signed, obviously redacted, Manchester Lammens, it will be him. I don't see a situation where United bring in a new keeper when there's already Onana, Bayindir and Heaton, if they didn't think it was a massive issue and if the new signing in the goalkeeper position wasn't going to be number one straight away. Because from what we've heard and seen, apparently Onana isn't injured and he's fit. And
he's been
Bayindir started the first game.
To not start, yeah.
Yes. And Bayindir isn't exactly pulled up trees since he's played for Manchester United. I think that's why United are in the market, and I think Lammens walks in and he's number one immediately, in my opinion.
Wow, big shout. So Lammens, 23, Belgian, coming off a very breakout year at Antwerp. Very good shot-stopping reputation, very good cross-stopping reputation as well. Statistically, some mad impressive stats in some really funky areas like that you never really think to look at. Obviously not a blockbuster name, someone that doesn't have extensive experience in Europe or top-flight football. You think he's coming and going to take over the number one spot? Now, we've been linked with him quite heavily for about a month. Looking back, it seems like United were scouting him all the way back in December 2024. There is a quote from him in February when he was sort of asked about the link to United, and which said, "Oh, magic, special, blah, blah, blah." The usual shit you would expect someone to be coming out and saying. Looking at all of the things out there, and even the price, which Romano's not mentioned, but it's not, you're talking 15, 20 million euro sort of territory, not mad cash. I feel like he was coming to replace Bayindir and maybe given the opportunity to develop and improve to become the number one. That was what my instinct was when we first saw him linked. Has that changed with Onana finding himself not starting? No, I still feel like that he's going to be behind Onana. But I want to go through all of our goalkeeping options and then we'll answer it at the end maybe. So obviously signed a couple of seasons ago, Onana, meant to be this ball-playing, progressive, flair sort of goalkeeper. And he has been a mixed bag. I thought he was better in his first season from a pure goalkeeping and shot-stopping point of view, but he's been mad underwhelming when it comes to the ball-playing. And actually last season, really underwhelming in terms of his goalkeeping. Regressed at being bang average. I don't think he's been quite as bad as people have made him out to be. I think there's been an exaggeration of that, but he was bang average with some clangers.
I think, personally, if you talk about the first season under Fernando under Ten Hag, he might have been the sole reason that we were knocked out of the Champions League.
He was.
So I think that...
But he was better in the league, weirdly.
Yes,
for some reason.
That stains in people's minds. His league campaign was relatively decent. Did he not... I think... might have Golden Glove, maybe Golden Glove. I might be remembering wrongly, but I think he was up there in terms of clean sheets in the Premier League. I know that just isn't a keeper stat as well. That's obviously a defending stat as well.
He was first or second best save percentage in his first season in the Premier League, which is not nothing.
Yes, I think save percentage is obviously can be a good stat, but it depends like what context you use it. I think the best one is I think it's post shot XG, which is basically shots that shouldn't be saved and he kind of waited and how many goals he prevented in terms of where shots have taken place.
That's
and stuff.
Something that Lammens is 98th percentile in.
Yes, that's what I think. And it's a really good metric with keeper. Sometimes you don't know about the sustainability of that one until it's over a couple of seasons. But I think for Onana it hasn't worked in terms of you could argue, have United signed him over one really good campaign for Inter Milan in an environment that suited him well and in the Champions League, when before Inter Milan and afterwards he's just been pretty much an average keeper, especially when he's in Ajax.
The worry with that is that it was Ten Hag that brought him in after having him at Ajax, and you think...
That's normal though, isn't it? In terms of managers, when they come in recruitment-wise, favouring players that they've worked with.
Only Lisandro Martinez, out of all the ones that he worked with, actually turned out to be good.
Yes. I know, and even that was against the grain initially when he first came, because everyone was like, you can't buy a centre-half that's 5'9" or 5'10", and he came in and he's just been really good. And if anything, it's kind of like, I think probably we are missing Martinez a little bit in terms of what he can offer us in terms of his build-up play. I think he's one of the best ball-playing centre-halves in world football. But with the Onana situation, it looks like he's been bomb-squadded, in my opinion, by Amorim. He's put Bayindir, has been shoved ahead of him, and Bayindir isn't exactly too great anyway. And I think Lammens has been accelerated because I think it's been pretty much put out there that United need a new number one. And I think if United signing him, he will be the new number one.
Bayindir then. He's had some absolute clangers in a United shirt. There was people clamouring for him because of some of the errors that Onana made, especially towards the back end of last season. I don't think I've ever seen anything from him that excites me. The only thing that he does that I think is even moderately impressive is that he's genuinely two-footed and he's happy to play it, plays it quite well, plays it quite quick with both feet. Outside of that, there's nothing in him that I see that I go, yeah, there's a keeper there. I think he's just properly ordinary in everything that he does.
I definitely would agree. I'd agree, and that's the problem. I think United have basically spent 2 seasons now with average keeper play in general, across both competitions, I think, and in terms of Europe and domestic campaign. And I think it sometimes can be undervalued how important goalkeeper play can be in terms of points won and points lost, and how much they contribute to that over the course of a season.
It's exaggerated because of their position, isn't it?
It is, because once an error is made from them, it's more likely to end up in a goal than any other position. And it's also about, in terms of them breeding confidence into the back line. And United going into a season where we're under the microscope, there's a lot of pressure, we need results fast. Can United really afford to go into games where it's like, realistically, we need to score 1 or 2 because we've got a keeper that could let something in at any minute? And then we've seen it in game week 1. Bayindir is a little bit weak on the corner. We 1-0 down in a game that we're dominating, should have won, and then you end up losing the game. And it's like, that's the difference between 0 points on 1. John.
So what happens with Bayindir? Because United do not need 4 senior keepers.
I believe it's a case of Amorim wants to get rid of Onana if possible. I'm not sure if that is, and bring in Lammens as number 1. And I think he's probably will have Bayindir as backup, because another thing that United have is a keeper with quite a bit of potential that's gone out on loan in terms of Eli Harrison as well. So I don't know if United are looking at that as well. Do you regret? I know this might be. Do you regret, or is it hindsight being 2020, being a bit revisionist? But after the Community Shield game, do you think United were right to get rid of Dean Henderson?
The Dean Henderson one was weird, wasn't it? There was obviously a decision made, and there's been plenty of decisions made. If you look at players that have moved on, Mason Greenwood, different reasons, doing well. Angel Gomez, different reasons, doing well. Dean Henderson, different reasons, doing well. Alvaro's a real big one. I think he might be the one mistake. Obviously, you got Scott McTominay's getting Ballon d'Or nominations.
Even that Maxi Oyedele that we bombed out to the Polish team, and then he got moved to Strasbourg in League One.
Yeah, I don't think he was all that, to be honest. I thought it was pretty basic. Not everyone can play. It's like Collier's gone out on loan. People are like, oh, he should be starting for us. No, he shouldn't. No. Like, he just shouldn't. I think Alvaro was the one when we signed Malacia when we had him, and he was never really given an opportunity in the same way that it didn't feel like Ahmad was getting given an opportunity under Ten Hag. Dean Henderson is an interesting one, though. I think there's a case to be made with hindsight in that one that was a mistake. I think Alvaro's the obvious, genuine mistake. I even saw a thread yesterday that was trying to convince us that letting Fred go was a bad idea. No, is the short and long of that. I think different to you. I think that if Lammens comes in, I think he's probably going to get sold under the dream of you back up with the opportunity to take the number 1 spot, but that means Onana sticks around. I think Bayindir is the one who gets bomb squadded. Because I think we would both probably agree Tom Heaton is not a fuss, makes no problems, and at the stage he's at in his career, it's probably just a coach in waiting.
But if Bayindir was going to get a bomb squadded, why did Amorim play him over Onana against Arsenal?
Probably because Onana hasn't had a pre-season, and he thought, I'll just get through this game. I think what I'll be telling is what happens tomorrow. 100%. If it's Tom Heaton tomorrow, you're looking at Bayindir being bomb squadded, I think.
Yeah, we'll see.
And then you got Donnarumma rumours. Is that so? I floated the idea of could you get him on loan? The block of that is that he's only on a 12-month contract, so that could be quite complex to do.
I just think
he's not staying at PSG.
A lot of these teams don't like doing loans as well. These big clubs. I think, and
meanwhile, Marcus Rashford's on loan at Barcelona.
Yes. And I also believe, obviously, Laurie Whitwell did come out and say that there isn't really much in the Donnarumma links. Steve did tell me that there wasn't really anything in Donnarumma links as well. So this is not more of like of a mutual.
That was private, but
this,
okay.
This wasn't like a...
It's me trying to gas a rumour up a little bit. Ronnie's like, yeah,
because we know it's not a rumour though. I told you, before we came on, Donnarumma's not a rumour anymore. It's more... the fan base reaction to the Lammens link. There was a lot of fans saying, why are we going after Lammens? Why don't we get the shiny big superstar name in Donnarumma instead? And
I think Donnarumma is an upgrade on Onana, but I think he's like
he's got the Bozo gene as well.
A single figure, a single point upgrade, not like a 20% upgrade that some people believe he is. I think he's got some mad fucking clangers in him.
He does, and people brush that under the radar. I think PSG fans have said before last season, which his league
fucking reason they've upgraded.
Yes, his league campaign was average, but what happened is, if you're a footballer and you have a really, really good Champions League campaign, when everyone's watching, and that's probably the only time that casual watchers are going to see.
No one was watching PSG Strasbourg
because no one's watching PSG versus Rennes and watching how he performs against them, and that's what people judge their opinion on. Because Donnarumma is nowhere near as good as people think, and it's because people have watched him. He had an excellent tie against Arsenal.
Unreal in the Champions League. Unreal in the Champions League.
But he's nice, shaky.
But this is the whole thing about Emi Martinez. Had a all-time World Cup campaign, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, get him in." Meanwhile, for Villa, he's coming out. Look at the game against United.
Clangers last year. Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, listen, there's 5 keepers there. I guess Ronnie's just basically give you the news that there's cock all in the Donnarumma to United. It's not happening, right? So yeah, breaking news. But the other 4, Tom Heaton, he might play tomorrow. Onana's clearly fucking pissed Amorim off on some level. Bayindir's shit. Let's have it right. Senne Lammens won't be done by tomorrow's game. So I guess tomorrow's going to be quite telling. If it's Bayindir again, maybe it is Onana that's getting bombed out. Mm. What do you guys think?
We'll see. Put
in the comments. Let us know. And what's your thoughts on this as a little extra XG? In a bit. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.